Halftone is the most iconic effect of all time in print design. It's the look behind newspaper photography, screen printing, retro magazine covers. It started as a tool, but is now a style designers actively try to recreate digitally. We just added a full CMYK halftone mode to Dither Boy as a free update. It recreates the entire 4-color print process and gives you control over everything from the dot size to the ink behavior and the angle of each channel for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. This is the best and the most controllable digital recreation of halftone for images that I know of, and I'm lucky enough to have spent 9 years in the music industry as a freelance designer, and some of my closest friends are the merch designers behind some of the biggest bands and musicians of all time. People like Sam Thomas, Caroline Detail, Kinner from Merch Babe, Christos.jpg, or Harry Vincent have been in my ear about getting halftones into Dither Boy for a while now, so this update exists because of them and has their seal of approval and experience baked into the effect. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how all of that works. I'm really happy to get this out. This is our first non-dithering bass effect in Dither Boy. There's only one bass CMYK halftone in there for now, but we can take this format and build on it based on user feedback, the same way we do for anything in Dither Boy. Now, we added halftone in update 6.0.2, so please make sure you are on 602 and you'll be able to follow along in this video. And of course, if you're new here, Dither Boy is one-time purchase. This is a free update. It's one of many free updates, and there are more free updates coming in the future. I will leave Dither Boy linked below. You can go have a look if you want. So here I am in Dither Boy, and I'm just going to import an image straight away. If you're new to halftones, an easy win here is load up a face. Halftone looks great on facial features and skin tones and portrait photography. So if you want to learn or just get to grips with this, then that's what I would recommend. Just got a stock photo open here. Now on the right hand side here, if you come to category and scroll down, you will notice there is a new category called halftone. If you just click into that, you'll get a little warning message. I'm going to explain this bit to you, so you don't need to worry about it for today. And you will load into grayscale halftone, but I'm going to switch straight away to CMYK for this video. First thing to notice before we change anything is instead of having a color palette control, you've got these angular controls for each ink channel, basically for the halftone recreation here. That is because your usual dithering by color palette process is not going to work in halftone. That's why you have to change modes into this one. But from the top, you've got cell size, which replaces scale. So a larger cell size obviously gives you larger, chunkier dots, and a small cell size gives you this really fine pattern, more akin to what you've seen in printed halftones. So I'll just set like something that will come through nicely in the recording here. So I'm going to go for 13, and I'm just going to zoom in a little bit here for this next part, because the next slider down is dot gain. This is new territory for me, but in real printing, ink spreads slightly when it hits paper, which makes midtones appear darker than expected. This slider simulates that, or aims to simulate that. So if we take this sample size here that I've zoomed into, you can see that adjusting the dot gain will essentially give you more or less punch in the midtones. This is something that's only really subtle, but given it's a real part of emulating halftones, if you want to get the finer details right, and if you're experienced with halftones, this should be something that's useful for you for creating these effects. So for the black mix slider, at 100%, dark tones are handled by the black ink channel, which produces the black dots. And if you move black mix down through to 0, you'll see the dots fade out, because the halftone effects will then attempt to build the shadows or the darker values in your image by stacking the C, M, and Y dots on top of each other. In short, basically, if you want something more colorful but less sharp, you can go for a lower black mix. But if you want something sharp and correct, you can go for a high black mix. From everything I've learned about halftone, setting it somewhere around 70 might be more realistic, because it will mimic a real print setting, essentially with some imperfections. But in a digital setting where we can get it perfect, having the black mix set to 100 is my preference and what works best for this image, I believe. Next, down here, we've got the angle controls and phase offsets toggle. Phase offsets. When 4 separate dot grids are laid on top of each other, they can create ugly like interference. If I turn off the phase offset, you'll see some of that come into the eye section here of this graphic. You might see a little bit more if I move the cell size size down. You might be able to get a better result here doing this on your own just to see what I mean, because I'm not sure that this detail will come through in the screen recording. But turning phase offset on shifts each color layer slightly so that the dots will arrange more cleanly and avoid creating anything that looks like noise. I'm going to leave that on, and to be honest, you are probably fine unless you go for anything super crazy with the angles, which I'm going to cover next. This to me is the fun part. You don't really need to understand halftone down to the exact science of it all. If you can use the cell size slider and the angle sliders, then you'll be able to work this out and get what you want out of it. Helps to be on a colorful area here, so I'll go down here to the mouth and sort of jawline section of this photograph, and if I start to move, hopefully the magenta will be the most noticeable. So if you look at the lips here and the edge of this shirt, you will see as I move the magenta angle, the dots sort of shift. It's really, really evident here. So if I zoom in even more, it might start to look a little bit lower quality as I zoom in the video, but you can see the magenta dots here move around to meet the angle that I'm setting. If we go and set every angle to the same 320 and turn off the phase offset, you will be able to see a little bit more about what that's doing. So with phase offset on, you'll see that the yellow and the magenta aren't forced to share the same space. And if I toggle it off, they are, because we've set the same angles here. Let me move the black angle as well to 320. So with everything set to the same angle and no phase offsetting, all the dots are forced to share the same space, and they basically just will appear depending on size. Cool effect, and why we left the phase offset as a toggle rather than leaving it on. If you toggle that on, they will basically, it will force the image, it will force the effect to make room for everything. I wouldn't recommend having them all at the same angle with phase offset on. I would turn it off so that you get this effect, but the creative control is there for you to make that decision. And if you want to get something cool without spending a while experimenting, you can just hover over one of these. So let's say I want to lock my cell size, hover over it, click the lock button, and then you can click this shuffle button here, and it will cycle you through various halftone setups. Like this one looks really cool with the angles, get some nice like interpolation almost. Yeah, setting those back to something a little bit more normal. The only thing left really is the adjustments. These work as they work with dithering. They are pre-halftone adjustments. So the brightness slider is going to affect the image on its way in before it hits the halftone. So obviously if we move that down, we'll get more black dots. If we move it up, we'll get less. This looks really cool. So maybe go a little bit higher with the brightness. The only real danger zones here, because we're working with color, are saturation and hue. These are where you can probably ruin your setup. So if I oversaturate it all and then move the hue around, obviously no longer looks realistic. Still looks cool, but if you're going for like something that looks good, I generally would avoid doing too much with those on a half-toned image. But from here, obviously you can export your image and do all the usual stuff you can do in Dither Boy. You can even animate. So if you go file and do convert to animation, you can set up an animation of this effect if you'd like, or if you'd like, you can go to import, and of course you can load in a video because we just did the 6.0 update for video. Obviously you'll have to re-enter halftone mode and get your setup going and stuff, but yeah, it works with video. Really just aiming to have this be part of the app. My previous halftone settings do not work with this one. If we like up the contrast a little bit and maybe brightness, lower the cell size a bit. This one, the dot gain is really evident on this one. So if you wanted like a better visual example, you know, when I move the dot gain around, you can see the difference here. Yeah, get whatever you want going. Desaturate this just a bit, or maybe add some saturation. Yeah, let's do that. And then I'm just gonna lock cell size, lock dot gain, and yeah, I'll lock the black mix as well, and then randomize a couple of times, see if I land on anything cool. And I'll export this and I'll show you what on screen now. But yeah, we finally got halftone in Dither Boy. Thank you to all the people I mentioned at the beginning for helping me understand how this should work. Going forward, if you use halftone in your workflow, not to recreate halftone, as in not to digitally replicate halftone. If you're someone who works in screen printing, or if you work with real halftone every day, or if you've ever done that, please let me know what I can do to make this better. If there's something we can add that will help your workflow, I'd love to add that. So yeah, please get in touch and let me know. None of this stuff will be possible possible at all without all the support from users and feedback and people recommending Dither Boy and word of mouth and stuff. So big thank you to anyone who has recommended Dither Boy and made this possible. More updates coming, more halftone effects coming, more videos coming. I'll show what I made on screen today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.